at the table with Jim, Press Guide Guru, the Overstreet Price Guide Advisor, the Golden Age Guru. Let's say it right. Titles matter, comic fam. Hit the subscribe button. You see this book I got, man? Batman 700, Mike Mignola sketch variant.
And that's our giveaway for the day.
No, it's not. No, it's my baby. Shout out Octavio, who told me that this book was affordable now.
This is a really cool book because it's a play off of Detective Comics 168, The Red Hood. And I think you really did it justice. This is a really cool cover, man.
I freaking love this book. And I remember being back at the con floor hunting for this comic book, seeing it on like 3 different dealers' walls for $100 for a VF near mint copy. And it's like, I want a 9.8. I want a 9.8. I want a 9.8. And I waited 3+ years. And I'm thinking this book is like above $300. And then my buddy's like, nah, dude, I think you can get that for cheaper. Copped it for $170. Boom! If I had a soundboard, I'd do a
Nailed it.
Nailed it. But you know what? We're at the table right here, right now, not to talk about a CGC comic book. We're chatting about CBCS.
Yeah, they just sent us a book, and we're going to review this holder, and we're also going to talk about some books that we're going to submit ourselves there, especially ones with signatures. So I'm excited to use that service.
I've never sent anything to CBCS, but this is like a grading company that's very respected in the community that actually has some really dope cases, as well as provides a service that is unlike most grading companies, one of authenticating signatures. Now, of course, you have the witness program, all right? And I'm not talking about like, oh, shoot, I got somehow roped into man who knew too little type of stuff here, and I got to go into witness protection. No. I'm talking about witness program, like somebody who verifies signatures for collectibles. And why would that be important?
Let's say you're at a con floor. We already know another company does this. All right, they send somebody with you, okay, or with your books, and verify a signature in person that signed your book. This artist, creator of some kind, went inside this comic. So now it's official, right? It's been witnessed.
Yeah, and that's something that some of the grading companies provide. But there's another aspect of authentication that CBCS does that I've always been intrigued about. And that's if you are in a situation where you are unable to get that signature witnessed. But let's even go a deeper layer. What if that person no longer can provide a new signature because they have passed away? What about already signed comics?
There is a market for this. There needs to be a company that does the verifying of a signature, and there is, and that's CBCS, which I absolutely love that that's there. I went through my comics, okay, and I keep putting aside signed comics, okay, and I'm like, okay, one of these days, I'm just going to submit them.
Dude, I'm like, CBCS sent us some stuff. We're going to compare the labels, like the old one to the new one, and we'll do that here in just a second. But, hey, we should also utilize the service. I've always been intrigued. I have a couple books, too, that I think CGC wouldn't even accept. So I'm going to try it out through CBCS and utilize a service that I've never tried before. So let's chat about those comic books today. And some of these we're going to dive deeper into on another video because the story started flowing, Jeff. They started protruding, like shooting out of our faces when we were going through these comics.
Yeah, this wasn't a small or slow seep, okay?
Projectile.
Yeah, man, I started getting to some of these books, and we started going through the pages, and it's a lot
Comic
of fun
fam,
history.
This guy's like, oh my gosh, Tom, when I was a lad, oh my gosh. And he started like, I felt the aura that you were pushing out. It was infectious.
You felt that my heart welling up?
I did, man. I did.
These childhood stories.
Okay, so before we get to your books that we're going to be sending down, the first one that I wanted to prepare for, I'm going to have to give this a press, all right? But this is a really clean copy of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 45, and I have a John Romita Sr. signature on the cover. There's no cert. Not that it matters, because there's no witness to have this getting some type of like yellow label through a grading company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this down to see if I can get it authenticated. And it's a dope lizard cover. And I'm hoping for at least a 5.0. It's not the best looking copy, but I've had this laying around for so damn long because I knew this day would come.
Yeah, it's a great lizard cover. And for me, it's one of I think, the best Spider-Man artist of all time for me.
Oh, absolutely, man. Classy. Gave Spider-Man that charm that we needed. Because Ditko came on the scene and he was just like, well, bam! Except this. It's harsh, but it's stylized. John Romitta's like, okay, but now we're going to bring some romantic vibes to these pages. And he made it so dramatic. And I love it.
You know, for me, when Romita hit the scene, he was like Kool-Aid coming through a brick wall. He's like, oh, yeah. And I tell you, man, he crushed it with Spidey 39, Spidey 40, Spidey 41. I mean, you just keep him coming, man. I love Romita.
Well, I'm going to keep it coming because I got one more that's not going through the signature authentication. This is something that I actually couldn't figure out through CGC if they would grade this, because this isn't technically like a normal comic. This is a movie, comic book, memorabilia type O thing.
And not just any movie, but the best movie of the year.
Venom. That's right. Do you remember? Did you get one of these when you went to the movie?
Did. I still have them. And you know what else I have?
What do you have?
I have the little pack of cards that came with them. I have like 5 packs that still zipped or still there.
Dude, were you with us when we watched that? Did you come with us?
No.
Oh, I think Ryan came. Fire Guy came with us.
I may have watched that by myself.
You were by yourself?
I think so. I don't mind watching movies by myself.
Jeff
By the
cries.
way,
He likes to be by himself because he gets emotional when he sees these heroes on the screen.
and I get an extra large popcorn to absorb my salty tears.
Exactly. So when everybody got this like Marvel custom edition exclusive, it's a official movie collectible. A lot of people are like, oh, no big deal, right? You know, they kind of like ruined it and things like that. Now, here's the thing. That's not what this is, man. This is something a little bit more special because I found out that they didn't just release this within the United States. You'll notice that on this copy, this issue is missing the AMC logo that would be at the bottom right-hand corner or the left. I can't remember, but it was on the bottom of the comic book originally. And that means that this is a variant. This was only given out in Canada, and I bought it from an eBay seller in Canada, shipped it, so I could possibly have a rarer item from such a cool movie. So CGC, I couldn't find any of them on the website, like on the census, and I couldn't find any on eBay, but I did find CBCS copies that were graded. So perfect timing. We're already going to be getting this pile together. So this is what I'm going to grade. I'm going to grade these 2 different comic books. What are you sending down?
So I have 5 books here, and I think I'm only going to submit 4.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I want to talk about the one that you're not going to submit. Why did you change your mind?
This is going to be part of more of the deeper story.
Okay,
but
so we're
we can
starting
touch
out with
base
that
on
one?
it. Yeah, because this is the only one I'll probably, maybe 2 I'm not going to spend. I'm not sure yet because it's a tough decision, and we can get into that. Spidey 122, childhood copy.
Dude, okay, I know this one. I've heard this story a few times,
Yeah.
but we should do it now. We should let everybody know about your childhood shenanigans.
I got it signed by Stan Lee myself.
Okay.
Okay, it was free signature. No line. He was there. He signed this, and he also signed a Marvel Universe card. That face of his where it was like 12 characters morphed into one.
How old were you? Give me an idea.
I would think I was 12 or something.
12
or
years
13.
old.
13 maybe.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got freshly teenaged Guru. Didn't even know he was going to be the Guru. What would you tell yourself?
I was loving vintage comics right from the start.
What
by
would
the
you
way.
tell yourself back then? Like, hey, you like this now? What would you say? If it had to do with comics, what would you say?
Oh, I know exactly. I'd say buy original artwork.
Buy original.
Yeah, just buy it because it was at that time, it was so stinking cheap. And the growth of original artwork is so insane.
That's
now.
what you would tell yourself?
I would. I'd be like, go to the art section. Because I never even knew there was. I never even thought about it.
Oh my God. Can you imagine this? Okay. So you have 13-year-old Guru. He's like excited to meet Stan. And then all of a sudden, Back to the Future style, Guru Jeff from 2020 shows up. I just need to talk to you real quick. We just need to chat with you. You just need to buy original artwork.
Go buy all Jim Lee and all McFarlane pages right now.
Just go and buy it all right now. You only got 2 seconds to tell you. Just go buy it.
That's what I would.
And you would convince them right then and there. So tell me about this 122 because your teenage hands have this comic book. And was this comic book altered prior to the signature or after?
After. Okay, look, seeing Stan Lee was a big deal for me. Okay, so the copy I had was not a nice copy. So I felt it, for me, was I needed a better looking copy.
Because Stan signed it.
And I didn't need a better looking copy to buy to have Stan sign another copy. I needed this one to be better. So what makes a comic look better at my age? A Sharpie. Okay.
Okay, let's walk through what you did here, and we'll show the comic fam some early attempts, some restoration, courtesy of the Golden Age Guru Price Guide Advisor, who trimmed and colored Amazing Spider-Man 122.
Yeah, I even try to make the right edge look better with scissors. Okay, just like hand.
Do
cut
you
it.
remember when you cut it? Do you remember that at all?
I do.
Where were you?
I thought I was gonna be good. I'm just at home. Okay?
Eyeballing it?
Yeah,
You're just
eyeballing
like,
it.
oh, I'm good at straight lines.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just gonna scissor this.
Is that what you were known for at school?
Yeah, Edward
They're like-
Scissorhands just came out. You know, I was motivated. I was just like,
You're like, well, I got this. I got some fresh scissors. My mom said, don't run with them. Shout out Weird Al. What do we got over here now? Amazing Spider-Man.
I mean,
Key book. Walk me through what you did.
I mean, I could even even from here, I could see the color bleed from the black Sharpie. Like, it was a fine tip Sharpie, so I thought I was being good. But I promise you, if you're to open this, there will be some color bleed from the cover. Oh man, I think I even color touched the upper webbing somewhere. Oh yeah. Oh no, I didn't just use black. I even used a dark blue. But I gotta tell you, the Stanley Sig is beautiful. It's in a great location.
Where's my flashity flash? This is a great opportunity to flashity flash everybody. I'm getting up. I'm doing it. Comic fan, we're not screwing around. Okay, hold up.
We're not, but we are screwing around.
The guru's over here like, oh, if we had a UV light. And then I'm like, boom, we got a UV light right here. Let's take a look at this comic book.
I'll be honest with you. It's so bad, Tom. I don't think you need a UV light to see it.
Dude, tell me about, like, what were you into at that time? Like, paint this picture for me of what the guru was up to during this time of your life.
I don't even know if I flipped through this since like, oh my God, there's so much color touch. Oh my God, I did red and blue. Oh my God.
Dude, okay. I love this, dude, because this is you, man. This is actually you from when you were 13. Okay, comic fan, so we're going to see what the guru did. We're going to do it together. So you're going to turn into like right here. All right, take a look at this. All right, so, oh gosh, dude. This is pretty rough, my friend. This is pretty rough. So first off, comic fan, you see how this, you can see the pages behind it? You're not supposed to be able to see the pages behind it. Okay, so we are looking for your color touch. Oh gosh, look at this, comic fam. This is what it's about. We're gonna see the spots that the guru said, oh, I gotta fix this. And apparently underneath Spider-Man's foot, didn't look good. Gotta fix it. Stan signed this comic book, man. Oh my gosh, look at that.
I think I did just as much artwork on there as Ramita. I might have to sign it too.
All right, comic fan, we're taking you back to when the guru was 13 and screwing up this comic book. Let's take a look at what he did. All right, and I feel like I have some evidence of tomfoolery right on the Ramita Sig. Yes, we do have some color touch. Ooh, and we have some more up here. Jeff, it's not looking good. It's looking a little rough, but you're saying that it's probably looking worse on the inside?
Oh yeah, that's it's pretty evident once you open it up.
All right, so why don't you walk the comic fam through what to look for when you don't have the UV light? Because although you're going to be able to see the spots that are shining through so clearly.
Yeah, you're just mostly going to be looking through obvious bleed through. And there's a lot of it. I mean, occasionally you'll get some bleed through that seems more printing, but this is like, you can see the amount. You know, if it's red on the front and it's bled through to the inside, you can pretty much assume that there was some color touch there.
Well, you took care of this whole spine, didn't you?
I sure did. I did a good job, but then
You did a pretty good job, dude.
look how jagged that is.
I know, it's pretty rough, man. I thought that you would have done it straighter. But you know what? I think at the time, your younger self was pretty pleased with the work. But
Yeah, I just didn't care. And at the time, I was young. It didn't matter. And even like, just didn't matter. Not like it does now.
But you know what's fun about this is that it's the Stan Lee Sig, you know, and it's the history. It's the aspect of collecting that makes certain items of expensive paper that we already joke about it being expensive. You know, this is literally got a 20-cent price tag on it. But there's an aspect of the collectible that is meaningful because of how it affected you in your life. And this is one of those books. I have that book. There's a Goro issue #1. That's not the actual copy that I had when I was younger, but I remember getting that when I was a kid, like at least a version of that book. And whenever I see it, it reminds me of that time. And that's a book that you have right here. I think there's another one in that stack that may have a similar story.
So the more I talk about it, before we get to that book, the least likely I'm going to have that graded. And it's just because, I mean, it was me as a young kid. Doesn't have any value other than, like, for me, intrinsic value, just personal thoughts and memories. And so when I open up the inside, I can always just go back and be like, I can't believe I did that. But here's another book. This one, okay, this is a favorite for me to this day. Okay, House of Secrets #92, first appearance of Swamp Thing. I bought this around the same time, around 13 years old, 14 maybe. I saved up all year, half a year for this convention.
This is the actual copy. And Comic Fam, I'll let you know, for our audio listeners who are listening to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, or iTunes, we also do a bonus show over there. So if you want to get some more content, go check that out. You actually put on this comic book, on the 122 in particular, there's 2 stickers here. You combine both stickers, like 2 price tags, to make one mega sticker. So you can write out the full word, childhood, copy, no sell. These are your personal copies. These are the ones that you are describing in these stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I bought this from a dealer at the convention, okay, who later I would end up doing shows with. Like, he's still an active dealer. So it's really interesting to me so many years later that he's still there, and now we're peers. And at the time, he was telling me, I mean, I was young. I mean, my grading wasn't, like, on point, I don't think, at that age. I highly doubt it. But he told me that it was the nicest copy he's ever seen. It was a beautiful book. He was regretting trying to sell it. And it was $200. I mean, that's a lot of money for this book back then. But it was so pretty. It was signed by Bernie Wrightson on the first page, and that was it. Right there, I was like, oh my God, I have to have this book. Didn't have enough money. So a friend of mine and I split it.
You couldn't afford it.
Couldn't afford it. I was like, bud, dude, I like, can you split this with me, man? And he was like, yeah, can we make money on it? And for me, I'm like, dude, I just want to keep this. But at the time, I was like, let's just get it, and we'll figure it out later. We got the book. My friend got into sports cards, listened to comics, and the book disappeared. The book disappeared.
For how long?
I did not see that book.
This book right
here.
here.
That book from 1992 or something, 3 till 2017.
Right. It was. I remember, like, you had gotten it the year prior to you joining the show. Really, you're like, yeah, I just got this a year ago.
Yeah, because like. I didn't even know where he had it. He said my mom's got it at her house. I was like, dude, I don't even know what that means. This book could be mangled. It could be anywhere at this point. I haven't seen it. I've asked for it through times, but we just never coordinated. I was like, dude, let me just buy you out of half of it.
There you go.
So I can just have it already.
And now you have it.
And now I have it. I have closure. I love the book more than he loved it because it was just more for me. And excited to have it. It's a pretty copy. I have to take it out and look at it, but I'm hoping for maybe a 9.0. Fingers crossed.
All right, this next one, Jeff, we got to actually let the Comic Fam know that up until today, you planned on sending this one in, but you're not going to do it. And the Comic Fam's going to have to subscribe because we're going to have to hit the mic again to tell you about this very special comic book.
Yeah, this book itself will probably use a short 5 to 8 minute video alone. But as a little teaser, it's Captain Marvel right here, number 22. Which is Mr. Mind appearance, one of his first appearance, but I think you only hear him on a radio. You don't actually see the physical Mr. Worm or Worm that he is.
Well, you know what? We're going to actually come back to the mic to talk about this book in particular because what we found inside these pages blew my mind, Comic Fam. But you're sitting there with a Hulk 181 in front of you, so I want to chat about that one next.
These next 2 books are ones I will be submitting, okay? And this is a Hulk 181. Stanley Sig. It's even got a card here. I wasn't the one who got the sign, but the person I bought it from was like, look, man, this is a Stanley signature, and it's obvious if you know, and here's the card that I had when I got the signature. So it's a low-grade copy, but why not, right? We're submitting books. I like the CBCS case. We looked at it, reviewed it, at least in person, and we'll talk about that too on the show.
Does it have the Marvel value stamp in there?
I believe it does. I think I only have one copy that doesn't, and I should double check, but I know I flipped through it, so now that you said that, I'm going to have to, that 0.01% chance that it doesn't.
I'm going to open it up.
I'm not putting doubt in my head.
I'm going to take a look.
Okay, check it out.
I want to make sure. Comic fan, you always got to check that Marvel value stamp,
Even the page itself, because sometimes they just rip out the whole page.
All right, let's take a look at this bad boy. This bad boy. Let's get rid of that tape. Get rid of that tape. Oh, you got to get this thing pressed, my man.
Yeah, I got to
We're gonna press these first. Yeah. Send that out there. All right, so this right here is the second appearance of Wolverine. I'm just kidding. Full appearance. We'll call it the first full appearance because this is the benchmark, man. This is what it's all about, comic fam. It's about this comic book. All right, so let's take a look at the inside of this because we got to check. You always got to check the value stamps, comic fam. The stamp that they would incent the reader to cut out and send in for prizes and such. And you know what this value stamp is. Like, you should already know what it is, comic fam. You shouldn't just know that there is one in here. You should know what character it is.
You should know it's Sheena, and to be honest, I've seen the wrong stamp in those books.
Ooh.
I've seen people put in a different stamp, or they marry a different page to it. And I've seen a Gollum one before, and a guy was just asking me to flip through it, and I was like, dude, that's the wrong value stamp, just to let you know.
We got the She-Devil right there. You got the value stamp. You got the Stan Lee Sig on the cover. Makes sense why you'd want to get this graded and authenticated. And then the last one on the pile, one that I am very jealous that you own because I've always wanted a Maurice Severin signature. And I'm assuming that's why you're sending this one in?
Shock Suspense Stories 11. EC comic. Like you mentioned, Maurice Severin on the cover, but on the interior, on the first page, is an Al Feldstein signature as well. So this is a dual sig book.
Oh, he signed it too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And a silver? Dude, we have two different silver SIGs
I know,
in this
right?
pile. That's kind of coincidental.
Random.
That's really cool. Oh, wow. Comic fam. I'm going to have to take a separate video to show you how much this signature pops. Wow. Great looking book, man.
Yeah, so Maurice Severin, just to give a little background here, if you're not familiar, she was mostly a colorist for EC. Her brother was John Severin, also an artist. She would be around for a very, very long time, worked for Marvel as well. I believe she was even co-created Spider-Woman. So
she did a bunch of stuff, man. She was like a big part of the creative process. There was, I bet there's a bunch of stuff that we don't even know she had to do with because she was doing so much work. Like, she was adding and fixing and making it to Marvel's like standards, but they had so many different creative teams pumping out comic books that she became kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah, she did. And then Al Feldstein is just an absolute legend in the industry. Basically, was EC himself. Basically, like, Al Feldstein was a writer, an editor, an artist, and really pushed not only EC for horror stuff, but actually to Mad Magazine as well, as he stuck with the company for a very long period of time. And like I said, is one of the greatest legends in the game.
Comic fam, we are going to put these together, and we are also going to take a quick look at what we're going to do, a couple giveaways. But we're going to announce the giveaways when we come back on the mic after we submit these to see how it went, right? I want to go through the process. I want to be honest with the comic fam. I've never used the service, so I want to be able to recommend it if I enjoy the service. So what I'm going to do here, though, is two different giveaways because we had some karma sent in, I don't know, within the last year. And I was kind of waiting to figure out a good opportunity for us to utilize it. We have the first appearance of Cloak and Dagger, and it's in a CBCS case. So let's take a look at that.
Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man number 64. CBCS 9.0. But I'm telling you, Tom, this thing's upgradable.
Ooh, okay. So this is what I'm thinking we're going to do. We're going to kind of do a couple different things. I think in the process of this conversation that we're having, we're going to crack this open, press it, submit it, see if we can get the grade bump, and then have it be part of karma and give it away on the show. So,
Spectacular Spider-Man number 64.
That's
First
right.
appearance of Cloak and Dagger.
In the old CBCS case, and it's graded at a 9.0. This thing has potential.
It does have potential. And instead of just giving that book away, we're going to crack it out, press it, okay, and give it away at a higher grade in a new holder.
Hopefully, we don't mess it up.
Hopefully we don't mess it up. I don't think we will, because there's potential there for, I mean, it's hard to say with it in the case, but easy 9.4.
Yeah, go for the 9.4 and celebrate at the 9.6 and then have a party. Host an entire event. Just kidding. Don't do that. We are still in pandemic, comic fam. But we're going to see if we can do a grade bump.
Yeah. I'm crossing fingers for a 9.8, man.
But we are now going to compare the old label before we break it out to the new one. And holy smokes, they did upgrade it, and I like the changes.
Yeah, me too, man. This is my first time having my hands on this holder here. And I've seen other videos on it, and I got to agree, like, I'm just checking this out, and instantly the first thing you feel is how rigid this thing is, and it feels really good in your hand.
Yeah, it's less boxy. The older case had a little bit more dimension. I mean, like, it was a little bit larger. It looks like they shaved the corners down a bit, and it's not as thin and doesn't feel as kind of like put together. What you're holding there, the new one, is like a solid brick, dude. That thing is like, it feels indestructible.
It's really impressive how rigid this feels, because I don't know how to really express it any more than that, because when you hold in your hand, you're like, dude, this just feels right.
The logo label revision was fantastic. It's so much more clear. The older label kind of almost has a blur. Clearly they upgraded their printing, and I think it looks cleaner.
Yeah, they have a little gold emblem here, and it's really nice. The gold emblem is nice. The label, like you mentioned, is definitely an upgrade to it. It still has a little bit of lip here where you can grab your books out, just kind of like CGC has. You know, I'm pretty much like everything about it. I still think the plastic's a little more clear on CGC's end of it, but you know, I'm super impressed on the leap it's made from its previous version.
Comic fam, let us know what you think about these new labels that CBCS and the new case that they're utilizing. Let us know in the comment section below. Enter you to win one of 2 giveaways we're doing. Both of them CBCS graded comics. The first, Eleanor and the Egret issue number 1, graded at 9.8, signed by Sam Keith, courtesy of CBCS. And we are going to send some karma out. Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 64, graded at 9. We don't know yet. We're going to get back to you on that one. Hit the subscribe button. And as always,
good job, CBCS. And geek responsibly.
Enough
said.